And this is the Algebra 1 quick review, solving two-step equations. All right, so what do we mean by that? We mean solving an equation. Remember, that means isolate the variable, get the variable all by itself on one side of the equal sign, right? You have a left side and you have a right side. So what do I have to move? I have to move the -6 that's added to the variable. I have to move the 3/5 that's multiplied times the variable. So if I move the -6 and I move the 3/5, then I'm going to be in great shape. All right, remember this. When quantities are both added to and multiplied times the variable, move the quantities added first. So I'm going to add a -6 to the left side of the equation. So I'm going to add a +6 to the left side of the equation and +6 to the right. That's going to allow me to move that -6. Okay, so the left now has the 3/5 still, the x, and it equals now 18 negatives, 6 positives, leaves me 12 negatives. Okay, now how do you move things multiplied times a variable? You multiply by the reciprocal. We can move both of these at one time. Whatever I do to the one side, I have to do to the other side, and a lot of students like to put the whole number over 1. So if you look at the left, notice the 5's divide out and the 3's divide out, leaving us our variable isolated. That's what we wanted. Also, don't forget on the right-hand side, I taught you to RBUM, reduce before you multiply. So we can take this 3 and divide it into this 12 and get a 4. And so I now have a -4 times a 5, grand total of -20. So remember, when quantities are both added to and multiplied times the variable, move things added first. Okay, so let's finish this one off. Look, my variable's on the right. I still move things away from the variable. So what do I want to move? I want to move the 40 that is added to the variable, and I want to move the -5 that is multiplied times the variable. I move the thing added first by how? Adding its opposite to both sides. -40 left, -40 right. Okay, my right ends up being -18. I still have, don't miss this negative sign, I still have a -5n. Now to finish a problem like this, I can do the shortcut and just divide both sides by -5. That'll allow the -5's to divide out on the right to isolate the variable, right? It's all by itself. On the left-hand side, I can't reduce. I'm going to leave it as an improper fraction, but I am going to do negative divided by a negative is a positive. And you get 18/5 equals n. Two-step equations. Remember, when quantities are both added to and multiplied times the variable, move the quantity added first, except in a few special situations.